Can I not marry? Audio web novel chapter 56. From here onwards, whatever you say I will believe you. When Lian Jun drove the car to the duck village, Du Lacey was squatting on the side of the road staring at the ducks. The leader of the group of ducks had white hair near the tufts of its eyes. She appeared very embarrassed. Brother Duck, say, how should I explain to the president when he arrives? Brother Duck stared at her confused and lost before, "Gar," a sound in replied. Then, a black Land Rover stopped in front of them. Lian Jun had a calm and steady expression when he got out of the car. His eyes faintly sweep at Xiao Yin, who was standing behind Du Lacey, then he quietly set his gaze on her body. Du Lacey deeply felt that this was the calm before the storm. Have you discussed how you're going to explain this to me? Lian Jun asked. Du Lacey piteously stared at the ducks on the ground, then she lifted her head up to look at the president before saying, I can apply for an extension for this discussion. If the discussion doesn't work out, can I not explain it? I don't mind if you want to bring them back to discuss further. Greater than ______ president, you are too magnanimous. Before Du Lacey got into the car, she very reluctantly and plaintively stared at the ducks. Fellow brother ducks, farewell. Unexpectedly the ducks seems to have understood Du Lacey's glazes and chased towards the car, quacking one after another, in the silence of the night, actually render a bit tragic hue. During ancient times, there was Jinqi who attempted to assassinate Qin Shi Huang. In present modern days there's Du Lacey who was arrested and raped, although the nature is slightly different, however the result is the same. In the dreary wind the ducks strongly quacked. Once Du Lacey departed, she no longer returned. When the group of ducks gradually fade away, and they have finally left the village, the silent atmosphere in the car was extremely awkward. Sitting in the driver's passenger seat, Du Lacey had her head lowered, in a repent state. In a moment, how is she going to explain this to the president? How is she going to explain it? How? Her mind repeatedly tried to find a solution to this problem. Unfortunately, she couldn't come up with a conclusion. She secretly looked up. Carefully she stole a glance at the president. He was looking straight ahead. She couldn't get a clear visual of his current mood. Having lived for such a long time with Lian Jun, Du Lacey understood how terrifying this expression actually was. Currently he haven't striked an attack because he is depositing interest. Once the compound interest is gathered, like it'll drop down on her head, the hope of survival is almost certain to be negative. Thinking to this point, Du Lacey just wanted to utter a long and loud cry. The young beautiful lady will always be star-crossed. The young beautiful lady will always be star-crossed. Unfortunately, Xiao Yin was heartless and ungrateful, wanting to increase the speed and add a stone on top of the president's SOBLL. Are you feeling unwell? Du Lacey lowered her head even more. If he speaks any more, she'll be in an even more dire situation. Du, in the afternoon you didn't eat anything, are you hungry? Du Lacey obviously felt the murderous aura on the side. I'm not hungry, she answered in a hurry. Is it? In the tea restaurant this afternoon you didn't eat anything, I thought you would be hungry, Xiao Yin mumbled to himself. Why do you have to mention the restaurant thing? Du Lacey was on the verge of tears. I'm really not hungry. She was so scared she felt that she was going to explode. You shopped for an entire afternoon, aren't you hungry? Lian Jun, who was driving, suddenly spoke. President, why must you hurt me, sir? Du Lacey thought of how she told the president she was shopping in the afternoon during their phone conversation. She deceived him so categorically, now she's suffering the consequences. It hasn't even been half a day and her lie was thoroughly exposed and seen through. Sure enough, the words her grandma spoke to her while she was young were right. Young children should not lie, or else they'll be eaten by the wolf. Grandma, your 20-year-old granddaughter have finally met a man-eating wolf. T_____T. When they arrived back at the city, it was already past 10 o'clock. The big bad wolf? No, not right. The president stopped on the roadside and very bluntly told Xiao Yin the guest to leave. You can get off now. When Xiao Yin got out of the car, he deliberately leered toward Du Lacey. We'll catch up next time. This time, Du Lacey finally understood what the phrase, no good deed goes unpunished meant. Because of that young hooligan she have suffered for most of the day. Unexpectedly this bastard deliberately painted an affair with her in front of the president. If she knew earlier on she wouldn't have pitied him, she should have let his dad scold him to death. Once Xiao Yin left, the car's air conditioning suddenly changed several degrees colder. Du Lacey could not help but shiver. Now can you explain? Lian Jun asked. This is the second time the president asked her this question. Du Lacey suddenly felt an alas feeling. That one. I haven't thought it through. That's okay. Lian Jun smiled grimly. What we have is time. Then he started the car again. There's plenty of time. Du Lacey suddenly felt like she fell into an ice hole at the center of the earth. It seems that this time president is determined to set the account clear, but with all the accumulated interest coming all at once. For the sake of this moment, the earlier her death is, the earlier she'll rebirth. Du Lacey lowered her head. In her heart, she was brewing over the entire event and reorganizing over her wording. She decided she must let the president know of her innocence, how wronged and helpless she was. After collecting her thoughts, she raised her head and was ready to confess. At this time, the car suddenly turned a corner, from the main road into a remote path. It seems to be in the wrong direction. Du Lacey's voice hadn't finished when the car ignition was turned off. I know, Lian Jun lightly said. Du Lacey suddenly had an ominous feeling. We should go back. No need. But, here. Du Lacey's tongue was suddenly tangled. Why does she feel that the president was deliberately bringing her to a secluded place to conveniently implement atrocities? It was truly terrifying. A dark cloud suddenly flew across the pitch-dark night sky, covering the meager moonlight. The dim light reflected on the black Land Rover's body, rendering a strange atmosphere. Inside the car, the atmosphere reached its climax. Speak. Lian Jun have placed his hands on the steering wheel. At the right moment a beam of light shone on his clean and slender fingers. All the words Du Lacey just wanted to say have turned into clouds. With a gust of the wind, it has been blown away without a trace. She said 10 times in a row. Lian Jun's cold eye swept towards her. Don't you tell me you're a cassette tape. Quote ellipsis quote. Under such pressure, Du Lacey finally collapsed. She pulled a long face and shouted, I was wrong. Lian Jun raised his eyebrows. Is it? Tell me, where are you wrong? Du Lacey gulped down the saliva that was stuck at her throat and began to confess. I should have not accompanied Huo Yuji to meet her online friend. Bala bala bala. From accompanying Huo Yuji to meet her online friends, to bumping into Xiao Yin, to the conflicts with Xiao Lishi, in one breath Du Lacey finished recalling everything that happened today, then she secretly glanced at the president. He had a calm expression, however he didn't speak. She's done, she is almost certain he is angry. In Du Lacey's mind she secretly grieved. She decided to act in accordance with the instructions of the great god Baidu, admitting her sins and sentencing herself to death again. I know I was wrong. If you want to scold, then scold. If you want to hit, then hit. After she finished speaking, she felt her words didn't give her a lifeline, so she weakly added, can you not fit the face, please? She relied on her face to make a living. Greater than, blank. Lian Jun raised his hands from the steering wheel. Du Lacey closed her eyes in despair. Don't hit the face, don't hit the face, don't hit the face. Then suddenly, a pair of soft hands caressed her cheek. In the darkness, came a little sigh. Du, when will you let me stop worrying about you? Regarding such a sentence, Du Lacey's guilty conscience suddenly like a flash flood spewed out. Her nose felt sour. Unexpectedly she had the impulse of wanting to cry. I'm sorry, she said as she used her teeth to bite her lower lips, biting until her lips turned pale. Seeing all of this, yet Lian Jun refused to let things slip so easily. This girl acts too recklessly. Whatever she decides on, she will see it through until the end. If she loves something then she loves it regardless. If she doesn't like something then no matter what it can't change her mind. He really doesn't know what to do with her. However, it's because her precise character and personality that trigger his interest and made him gradually taken a liking towards her, then finally unexpectedly had a deep desire to protect her, keep her besides him, never intending to leave her side for the rest of his life. Don't be sad, I don't blame you, he comforted her. You scold me please, I should have not deceived you. It is my fault. Her voice was suddenly buried by his lips. His tongue gently licked her bitten white lips, like tending a wounded child. Her whispered an N sound before parting her teeth. They shared a soft, soothing and soundless kiss. Kissing her, just because he loves her, wants to protect her, and not merely wanting to possess her. This one kiss drifted away the group of dark clouds within the sky. The gentle moonlight shone above, sprinkle on the surface of their faces, shielding the haze light. He leaned into her ear and whispered, from here onwards, whatever you say I will believe you.